My name is Jay DeSherry. Welcome to the human-powered version of the Good Ride, my review of the Jones Storm Chaser. I'm your buddy, always egging you on for one more lap, and you're gonna do it if you're on this board. This thing showed up to us in a 152, and along with a bunch of other boards, I took this one out and said, that's what I wanna go take on out first. I mean, look at the thing, it's amazing. This board's a 152, my size, I'm about 5'7", 165 plus a pack. I think the size was absolutely spot on, no issues there at all. The board felt very well controlled, did not override me at all. It's a wide board, right? So some people think wide board, lots of float, which is great, but wide boards have some other tendencies too, so we'll talk about those. I rode this exclusively with my Nitro vertical bindings and my K2 Ender boots. So this is tested mostly in spring conditions. Pour one out for the Storm Chaser. I only had one day about 6 inches of snow. I wish I would have had a bottomless day on this board. It would have been amazing, but I had to settle for mostly spring conditions and again, some kind of boot top pow. But I will say my first turn on this board, I dropped into a bull, laid this huge long radius turn, and that turn is still in my mind from the entire season. It's that good and that much fun.
And as you know, we put out honest, objective, unbiased reviews without any brand oversight. And we can do that thanks to the support of shops like Blower Board Shop. They have a strong presence online. So if you want to support the Good Ride and keep objective reviews flowing, check out Blower Board Shop, click through our links and see if something works for you there.
Let's flex the Storm Chaser. So going from the center of the board, right? You're gonna notice a nice, smooth, even flex, okay? Now, even being soft and even, because if you look at the nose, this thing is quite soft and it will chatter a lot at speed, okay? If you keep this board flat based, you're gonna notice that nose popping up and down. Conversely, the tail though, those swallows, pretty darn stiff and pretty firm, right? You can definitely power through some chopped up snow with this board. And then between the feet, again, pretty medium-ish to medium soft, right? The key thing, as I'll say, all that chatter up on the nose, if it's on edge, won't translate up to instability through the feet. But if you do keep this board flat basing, you're gonna notice a lot of vibration through the middle of the board. So split boards definitely come apart. What you've got is really nice Karakorma hardware up front and back on the tail. One of the things you'll notice is we've got a nice clip up on the nose. We don't have one back on the tail here, but I've not noticed any issues with this thing vibrating, getting unstable when riding. So again, these Karakorma clips definitely do a really nice job at holding this board together, whether you're carving some mellow runs through trees or really mocking it through some big bowls. Taking it apart, real simple. You want to detension the nose, flip it open, pop, pop, and you're apart. What goes downhill must then go back up. So when we look at our uphill personality of this board, we do have some camber, a setback camber on this board, but remember, it's a soft flex. You're not gonna get a big pop and glide out of every single turn on this. It's a little bit more of a stomp and hope than a kick and glide, okay? But few key features of this board to be aware of. Number one, it is wide, okay? So remember, a wide board in the skin track is gonna do two things. Side hilling, not the best, all right? That's the biggest single weakness this board also I found, is that when you're side hilling, it's really hard to get your weight way over the edges to get good purchase. So it is gonna be a little more drifty on those side hills. So choose your skin track angle wisely and definitely carry some extra food for your skiers to set a better track for you. Number two, I will say that with this board, you're gonna have to go wide crampons. I have standard Spark crampons and they did not fit over this board. So you're gonna need to go wide for those. Obviously they sell those, but if this is your second split, you probably need a separate set of crampons if you're taking this up into some steeper icy terrain. And lastly, the mellow disrupted side cut over here, I can't say enough how much difference this makes on the uphills in terms of just giving you a little bit of traction. But the main thing is when the board comes back together again, it locks together so sweet, so smooth. And those of you who don't want to ride a split board, you'd rather be on your solid, that disrupted side cut makes these splits ride as close to a solid as you're ever going to find. So this board is, I'd say, a lot more versatile than it looks like, right? You look at this and you think it's going to be just pretty much a soft snow pow day only board. Well, there's some truth to that and there's some negatives to that as well. This board has a very, very long effective edge for being a 152. So you've got lots of purchase. And I would say while this nose is incredibly soft, I mean, it just wallows, right? If you're flat basing, but get this thing on edge and it holds like a train track. It is shocking how good this thing will hold an edge. And in fact, out of all the boards I tried this year, at ludicrous speed, I felt the most stable on this board in good conditions. Reason I mentioned good conditions, if things do get icy and chunky and a little bit rimy like we have off in the Northwest, the combination of, again, that soft flex on this board and kind of camber profile, it's a setback camber, but it is camber profile. The combination of those two, this board will chatter and it will buck you a little bit. So be careful in where you are, which is why this board is not my choice as a mountaineering board, right? Going out, not knowing what conditions we'll see that day, probably not my first choice. But if I'm going out knowing I'm gonna have some great corn or have some great powder conditions, why wouldn't you pick this? Again, it's the happy pill. It's the fun guy in the room, right? Let's talk about tight tree performance. I'm a big fan of obnoxiously, stupidly tight trees. I demoed also the Jones Hovercraft last season, and I will say the Hovercraft is really great too. It floats great, it's really fast, it loves high speed, but that board, I feel like I was always waiting for it to actually go edge to edge. This board for waist width, around 27.5, way faster. And I'd say the reason for that is because the board is so flexy, right? It's more twistable, right? So you can get your weight from nose over to tail a little bit tighter and almost pivot this thing off the tail. So even though it's a fairly wide board, it will go edge to edge much faster than you think for a 27.5. This is Jones 8000 series base. Looks really pretty. I'm personally a big fan of just simple black bases. No complaints, right? So this is not Jones Premium 9000 base. You're not gonna be sweating details. You'll have no problem making the long runouts after a big bowl to keep up with your skier friends. No worries there. I would say this board is an absolute blast. It's just fun. It's a great time. It's the one everybody wants to hang out with. Again, probably not my choice for a pure mountaineering mission. Probably not my choice if it's your only split. Some people say, oh, it's just because it's too wide. It's not just the width. It's a combination of width, combination of flex, combination of the fact that your crampons probably aren't going to work this board. It's just a little much to be your primary, right? But for a secondary fun toy, it doesn't get much better. Get one, go out, put a smile on your face, and have a blast, folks.